Hello everybody and welcome back to the Gaming Lounge. This is Sfar, your host, and today we're going to go over some replays. So currently I'm at 6,659 trophies. We got about 5 days left in the season. Uh, this week and this weekend I'm going to try to push to 7,000 trophies. We'll see if I could do it. It would be my first time ever to hit 7,000. Currently I am bouncing in between um, 6,400 and 6,600 trophies. When I get around 6,600, I usually tilt down to 6,400, then grind back up to 6,600. And it's been kind of frustrating. It's been a lot of back and forth. But today, let's go over some replays. The first is against Jinsen Sa, and he was using this very interesting giant deck. He was using Giant Loon, Giant Graveyard, and Giant Sparky. So he pretty much had all the win conditions a giant has. Um, and it surprised me. I thought he was playing Giant Graveyard, and that was like the standard Giant Graveyard with and I thought he was using um, Barbarians instead of Dark Prince. That was my interpretation of it. So when I saw that he had Sparky and Balloon, it completely threw me off. Luckily, I was able to surprise him with Mega Knight. So I've been using this deck actually for a while, and this deck when I was around 65, when I tilted back down to 6,500 trophies, I was using Bridge Spam, and then I just threw in Mega Knight instead of Ghost, and just to test it out, and I started winning, and so the fact that I started winning with it is why I keep playing it. And so the way I play it just like you would with Bridge Spam with the version of Ghost, and I try to save my Mega Knight to try to get a good surprise, so that he doesn't know what's going on. And that's how I try to play this deck. Is I usually wait till a second, 2 times elixir to play my Mega Knight, um, but I mean the reason why I used it right there was just because I was so ahead and I had a lot of elixir. I knew I had the elixir lead. And so this deck is surprisingly very strong. I think Mega Knight just recently got a buff with his jump, and so I think that's why Mega Knight is actually pretty viable. The reason why I don't go straight Mega Knight and put in Ghost instead of Pekka is just because it's really weak against giant. It's really weak against Golem decks, and surprisingly I've been playing Golem kind of a lot. So I knew that I got the win with just the zap and the fireball, so I go and I clean it up, and that was the first match. Let's go on and watch the second match. Second match was against GSV John. And at the time, he was 6,564, and I was 6,572. So this win actually got me back into 6,600. Like I said, this last couple of days, I was bouncing in between like 6,490 and 6,570, and I was just kind of bouncing in between that area. And winning this morning, I was able to bounce back up to 6,600. And then I was able to get 2 wins after getting back to 6,600 to get the where I'm at currently, 6,656. And I'm just kind of taking it slow when it's kind of end of season. I try to play really slow. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Mega Knight to clean that up, to make sure that the Mega Knight could kill the graveyard skeletons that spawn. And and um and I don't play as much just because it's easier to tell in late season because that's when a lot of people start trying to play the game, and that's when a lot of good players will start to push, especially in this range of trophies. People who usually end at 7,000 are currently around 6,600, 67, 6,800 trophies, and this is when they usually push to 7K. And so I think pushing to 7K is extremely hard. It's just a whole different tier of how you need to play and the type of players you play. Um, when you get closer to 7K, people have pretty much mastered their decks and mastered the matchups. So when you're fighting a hard counter, you really have to surprise them in order to take the win, or you really have to like starting hand them, just because they know how to play those matchups so well. Now, I still think Giant Skeleton is really strong, even though he got nerfed a little bit. I think the nerf was necessary. He was a little bit too overpowered with the meta, especially with Mirror, how broken Mirror was. Giant Skeleton was just extremely strong at level 16. But Giant Skeleton pretty much will defend anything if you use it as a defense. And this is what I'm talking about surprising. So he probably thinks I'm just using Pekka Bridge Spam. So I go ahead and I play the Mega Knight, and I'm able to play my Battle Ram on the right hand side, and he doesn't really. I mean, he actually defends it pretty well, just because he had the elixir of doing that. And then he goes ahead and plays the Giant Skeleton to clean it up. But I mean, if he didn't really have that hand rotation, it would have been a really good push on the right hand side with the Bataram. And so I play the Pekka to defend that, and I'm going to go ahead and play the Mega Knight to clean all this up. And this actually gets kind of close. I had to play the Electric Wizard, but now I got two pushes, one on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. And I know that the Pekka is just going to get one hit, so there's no point supporting the Pekka. I'm just going to spam the right hand side, and luckily he has no elixir, so my units are able to break free, and I'm able to take the victory. I go ahead and I use the zap so the bandit could get a little bit more damage on it, and then I clean it up. Now, the other match was against XX YOLO, who's actually at 6,717 trophies right now. He's at his season best. But when I fought him, he was at 6,633. And he's just playing the standard Giant Skeleton, Archer Queen, Hog deck. Which Bridge Spam has a hard time with it. But with Mega Knight, the matchup's a lot easier. I still think he has the matchup in single elixir, just because his Giant Skeleton could defend either the Pekka or the Mega Knight. But in double elixir, I have the matchup. So during this matchup with Pekka Bridge Spam with Mega Knight in it, I just have to survive till a double elixir in order to take the victory. And that's what, I was kind of aggressive with that Mega Knight and Pekka. Luckily, my Pekka was able to take the Giant Skull down pretty fast so that my Mega Knight could get some damage on the tower. But he doesn't get too much damage just because Cannon's so strong right now that Cannon has such a high DPS and has a lot of life. I'm actually really excited for the Cannon nerf, the minus 13% HP. It's still going to be a strong unit, but it's not going to be overpowered. I do think Cannon, for the value of 3 of Elixir, it's too good of a defense unit. So I think that with the nerf coming, it's going to be pretty balanced. So he's just gonna keep on playing Hog right into my Pekka. I just have to make sure I have my Pekka ready for his Hog, for the Hog Rider. Luckily, he messed up his skeleton placement, and my Bandit was able to get onto the Archer Queen, and with the help of Fireball, I'm able to kill the Archer Queen instantly. So that was a huge misplay that XX YOLO did. But that's what I'm talking about. A full life Pekka, gets stopped by a Giant Skeleton completely. I mean, a full life Pekka gets stopped by a Cannon and when it looks at skeletons, just because his Pekka's too slow. And this is what I'm talking about, surprising him. So he didn't know what to do. I just played the Pekka. He missed the timing on the Fire Spirit, and this is just going to be a dead tower. Mega Knight's going to be able to get the jump damage, and he's able to clean it up with the Barbarians and with the Bandit. It did look like he was lagging a little bit, like watching it from the replay now. So I wonder if that's what happened. So I'm just playing passively. I'm just playing units in the back. I've realized that he gave up, so I'm just going to go ahead and play an aggressive Pekka. And I'm just going to go for the 3 crown just because game's over. And it feels good when you make your opponent quit. Now this last game was actually really fun. It was actually kind of dicey towards the end. It's against Luca 08, which at the time was at 6,596 trophies. And so this game gives me a bad matchup. I do think Elixir Golem does beat my deck. I do beat it if I play smart and if I get lucky. In this matchup, I do get lucky. So whenever you see them rage their own towers, you know it's going to be Elixir Golem. So I play the Battleram. I see him. I know that he wants to set up his push with the Elixir Golem, so I'm just going to push the left-hand side completely with the Bandit. And luckily with that dash of the Bandit, it distracts the Inferno Tower long enough so that the Elixir Golem doesn't have any backup. I go ahead and play the Mega Knight, not on top of it, just because I knew that if I play on the bottom, he's still going to get the jump damage. And he actually times it just right in order to kill the Elite Barbarians and the Batter Healer. I didn't need Fireball. I just really panicked, so that's why I threw that Fireball. If I would have thrown the Electric Wizard sooner, it would have cut my Mega Knight full life, and the counter push would have been a little bit stronger. But I still go ahead and I take the tower, and I play the Battle Ram just so my Magic Archer could get free damage. I wanted the Battle Ram to tank. And the Battle Ram does get the connection, even though the Electric Dragon was on top of it. And this is where it gets scary. I mean, I'm destroying him at this point. I have both his towers, and his King Tower only has 2,000 life. But I knew that if he just keeps supporting his Elixir Golem, he won't have enough Elixir to defend. And I knew that I couldn't defend that push. If I tried to defend that push, I would have been 3 crown. So luckily, he wasted all of his Elixir, and I'm able to just play the Pekka and the Master Archer for the win. But if I would have tried to stop that push, he would have 3 crowned me right there. And so that's why, if they just go ham and they get the Elixir Golem and they're able to put all the support units behind it, it's almost impossible to stop. But I hope you guys enjoy. Like I said, this weekend, hopefully I could push higher. As I keep, if I get above 6,700, 6,800, I'll make more videos of my matches. But however, I hope you guys just keep on clashing. There's only 5 days left in the season. I hope you guys are able to push the trophies and do the best. I'll talk to you guys later, and until next time.